Okay, I guess we're back again. A little lighter, I guess. I'll have some coffee. That's pretty good. So, let's get back to things here. It's a big one. It's a little hard to get up there, but anyway, when you have a cap on. So it seems like you can apparently buy a DVI split cable that you might be able to do 2 screens, so that's great. I don't think you can do that on the standard old VGA, but I'm not sure. But it seems like at least you can do it on the DVI. It seems you can also do it on the HDMI, it seems. At least there's some splitters as well for that. So that's nice to know, I guess, that there might be a possibility to do 2 screens on one plug. So if you just have one, you should, yeah. So let's go further and look into if we can find, I'm just sitting here and just looking over different things. And the other machine is still running the antivirus, I think. And after that, I will need to see if I can get the third, antivirus, and see if that can find something. I usually use multiple. When things like this happen, I tend to use different applications of tools. Some of these antivirus can't work without internet connection. It's just and one of these antivirus that removed most of my most of the things. You had to wait 2 days after registration before you could use it. How much damage did the virus do on those 2 days? A lot more damage. I thought I had turned off the virus by moving into another system, but it seemed to have reactivated itself and all that. But and they just try to like the hackers, the antivirus companies just try to make you use a lot of money on their products. So, and they use some slick tactics to do that, which but anyway, you get a lot of the people into the antivirus from the hackers, as far as I know. They become, going from black hats to white hats, right? It's so. So here we have the manual for the FX170, and it also have this DVI. So I guess you can probably have 2 screens if you fix a splitter. It's worth a try and see what you can get out of it. It's pretty cheap and it runs on 12 volts, and so it should be pretty lightweight overall on that level. So it would be worth a try to see how it would run Windows 2000, if I can find all the drivers for it and all that. That would be nice. So, but this is the technical guidebook inside the Optiplex FX. It would be nice if I could actually download it, save file. And yeah, download is fine. Yep. There we go. Does it download? I couldn't see the. Yeah, it has downloaded the FX170 or one of the other 2 versions there is of this. I just need to find some kind of cheap version of it. In regards to the size, it would be very, very easy to have with you. I think it's probably, it's one of the smallest units. I do have one unit that is even smaller, but that is less. I guess it's still 1 gigahertz. and it could do up to 1 GB of RAM. So, oh no, not this. You know, sometimes when you do this, and the computer just stocks and it just continues down. It's a crap bar. I don't know what in regards to the hardware that is but it's you know, it shouldn't do that, but it does. It's not a computer that anyone should buy. You know, even if it's cheap. You know, or maybe someone will be happy enough with it, but yeah, it runs apparently. This system runs what do you call it, Windows 7 embedded, and here we have the data and all that, storage and all that. That this version of this kind does seem to have more storage, or have the possibility of more storage from the beginning. RAM as well seems to actually also can get more RAM than storage. To 2 GB seems to, no, 4 GB of RAM seems to be, and then with 16 GB of internal space, that seems to be the maximum that they're selling it with. And that's another version than the FX. It's the 5600 series. So with Windows 7. So here we have installing Windows 2000 on a. Yeah, well, we can just delete that, I think. T5720 thin.
This one.
Advertising, you gotta be kidding me. You know, people are like, well, everybody has time for advertising. You know, it's like, you gotta be kidding me. If you have that idea that everybody has time for advertising, you are promoting devilish nonsense. And we have a thin client running Windows 2000 boot up. So he made a Windows 2000 machine out of the T5530. But I don't know what, you know, what kind of, how many volts it's using and all that. First I put in a bigger Doom card from 54 megabytes to 2 GB. Then I used a USB external CD reader and a recovery CD to boot up into DOS with CD drivers. Then I copied the Windows setup installation to the Doom card, then just installed it from the C drive. Simple as that. You need to copy the setup files to the Doom card. If you try to run setup from the CD ones, it loads the setup program. It cannot detect the CD drive and won't let you continue. Hope this helped. That's interesting. So you could actually install, you know, you just need to copy the files over. It's interesting that you can actually to the Doom, then just install it from the C drive. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't actually think that you could actually just copy the files over from the CD and just install it from the. I would have thought that would be some copy protection or something like that, but apparently not. But he installed Windows 2000 on the. You know, there's some tricks from, you know, from these different videos in regards of yeah, how to install things. You know, some different ways of installing things. If one thing doesn't work, you know, you might be able to find some kind of other way to work things out. Let's see if we can find some details on this one. HP 55. Oh, there's so many tabs, and it's just it's way too many. Oh, it's getting hard. Well, my battery should begin to start if it goes up to around 90 watts again. Apparently around 89 watts it begins to start the fan. So that's a way to, you know, it's instead of you know, it doesn't have the display turned on all the time. It doesn't have a feature like that. It's the interface is, you know, on it is pretty much just nonsense. on, on so many levels, but at least I know around 89 watts it should automatically start the fan. So if it begins the fan, I know, okay, we have reached a high point. You can get the DDR2 RAM in 4 gigabytes. You know, some of the computers that has less, and CN896 chipset. It's also something in regards of yeah, I can't remember what it was. That was one of them that had this chipset. I guess it was in regards of graphic or something like that. Whatever. You know, one thing is what is written, another thing is how it runs in practice. Okay, let's see this unit here. C. Well, it looks pretty good, but why do we get the details? See the details on eBay. There we go. Okay, let's just close this window down. So many windows. Oops, pushed the wrong thing. And I should probably find the mouse, or maybe I do also have another kind of. Why did I put that actually? I have this thing. I wonder where that is. 2 seconds. Should be somewhere. That's interesting. Where did I? Oh, there we go. Well, I guess probably it needs the drivers, but let's try to. Okay, that's stupid. Oh, maybe it needs to turn this way. Okay, that helps in regards to the cable at least. That was a very short cable. If I could only do it. Let's try to put that in. This is the. I don't know if this will work out of the box, but this is the pad. It's a long time since I've used it. You know, when you install, get all the things going and you set it all up as it should be. Some of the things that comes out of the box is just utterly nonsense. Okay, let's get this keyboard away. Okay, we're just shaping everything down. And then put this over here. And this cable we can put down here. Okay. There we go. It's not that much space, but hey, anyway. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good. It's a little haven't that much practice on it, but okay, it's okay, but it works. Okay, a little practice in fixing your hand as well in regards of. I guess I can turn maybe this a little. Whoops. There we go. So you can see the hand here. Seems to be working at least better than the other one. So lot D2 Del Y CX0 2018. That seems to be, only 5 years. They look pretty good, and they have this thing of, they shouldn't use too much. But it doesn't have any information on it in regards of how many watts or voltage, sorry. What is the voltage that these are using? It doesn't say. Let's see here. YX CX, okay. Let's see if we search. Seems like the pad could need a wipe of some kind. Here we have lots of 5 tested YC or X0. Are these the same? Yeah, they look the same. Yeah. We'll have some more information. Oh, that didn't sound good. Oh. It's an old pad, this thing. Okay, the feet of it is, oh well, you know, it's plastic, so plastic have a way of, you know, I need the feature of actually just being able to, yeah, it doesn't have the feature where I can just scroll easily. I need to go to the scroll thing here. I know there's a feature when you push this thing, but maybe you can install some Linux drivers for it. I don't know, maybe I can actually go here and synaptic thing here, and what is it called, the bamboo. Maybe I can actually, you know, look up drivers on the, that's a bamboo tracker. No, that's a music tracker. Maybe on their own website they have drivers for Linux, so it can actually work with. That wouldn't be bad. I wonder if I can actually use this for, no, that doesn't work. Okay, here are the Ys. Let's see here, we have some details here on the Ys. X. Oh, it's not so easy with this. No, it's 19 volts, so we'll skip that. I would have thought so, right? Oh, I really need that feature there. That would be nice, but oh no, turn it away. So here we have a 12 volts machine as well, I think. One of these slim, illegal, or legal, or whatever. Oh, it seems to be like a what is it called? Yeah, it's a bigger machine. It's I guess it's a little bigger than a slim. It also have one PCI slot, so you could actually fix a card into it. But it's 12 volts, so you don't have the problem of it needing to, you know, the other Windows 2000 machine they had of this size had like a 230 volts to whatever it needed, and that's not what we don't want loss on that level. But yeah, it looks pretty good, and you can have a hard drive inside of it. You have a PCI slot, and you can have two screens. The question is, of course, and they have like a CD-ROM drive for the USB they sell with it. That's actually pretty good, you know, but I think it's only 800 megahertz or something like that. They sell it for 1,000, well, I guess 1,000 kroners, so it's a good amount. It's not cheap. So no, it's actually 1,000 megahertz. That's not bad, but yeah, it has some Oni Chrome CLE 266 graphic card. Of course, you could put a better graphic card into it with a PCI slot. I don't know what, you know, what graphic, you know, if you could find something graphic card that didn't have like a fan and was fanless and could do some, you know, pretty good graphic. I don't know what you have of let's see, yeah, PCI graphic card, Windows, well, maybe XP now, Windows 2000, whatever. Well, whatever. That's XP. That should be some new. Let's see what we have. There should be something that, let's see, a 32-bit PCI graphic card, ATI Rage. What could you have? Well, maybe I think Voodoo 3 was 2D and 3D in one, right? But of course you already have from the other graphic card on board, so I don't know what could. Well, we have a GeForce 2. Interesting. I've thrown these things out from. I guess it also had a fan, if I recall. This doesn't have a fan, and they're pretty cheap, you know. A GeForce GT 710, and that's PCI. What? This just sounds kind of 2 GB DDR. It sounds like a newer card, but it's still cheap. Let's see here. It has a VGA, HDMI, and the other one that I can't remember in one of the versions with one slice. It doesn't have a fan, so that might be, that would be a possibility, but of course it will use a lot more power than I would think. But that looks, no, why is it a GT710? Would it work on Windows 2000? That's a good question. Of course, buying something that doesn't work is just we have Matrox. I had a Matrox card. Well, that's like PCE X16, old PCs here. Old PCI graphic, but yeah, it looked like. Did the other graphic card go? We have another graphic card. That seems to be a lot bigger than the other one. Let's see if I can go back and find the one that I found. Or maybe front. Let's see, where is it? Can I find it again? Did I lose it? That wasn't so good. I think I lost it. Let's see if we can find it again here. That's a PCI. Oh, there we go. I found it. Well, it's cheap, but I don't know if it's and of course, oh yeah, it's big. It has a huge. I don't know if that would actually, even if it's a PCI and all that, I don't know if that actually could fit into it. It has a huge. Let's have a. Uh-oh, I closed it down. Oh no. Apparently it has this thing of easily recently closed. That must be it. Let's try that. Or maybe it just... No, that's Windows, okay. Okay, history. Close tabs. There we go, let's try that. There we go. Oh, that's in regards to... Yeah, okay. Oh, did that work? No. Oh, sadly not. I think it just opened things up. Oh, it's just confusing. Okay, let's see here if we can see it inside again, yeah? I kind of doubt that there would be room for the graphic card. The graphic card would be turned this direction, and the thing of the cooling would go down, and you could maybe lift it a little, maybe, and yeah, maybe that would, if you just lifted it, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, I would need to. Well, okay, we have, yeah, that's. I have my doubts that this would actually fit because it has the cooling or so, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess it also looks like kind of new, so it might not even have Windows 2000 drivers. So, yeah, what do we have here? Nothing. But that's another. I guess that would be another try out. It will probably use too much wattage. But that's another 12 volts option. Very interesting. Of course, if we didn't need 12 volts, we could look into other things, right? Let's see here. 12 volts, yeah. I wonder how big it is. It doesn't look big when you look at it, right? But when you see it opened up, there's room for a little hard drive and a PCI slot. And I guess this must be you have the CPU and the chipset, fanless. These are CPU and chipset. It doesn't really say which one is which, but I guess this probably is the CPU. it goes back to the anyway. Okay. But yeah, you can have a hard drive in it. It might be you might only be having or be able to have one hard drive in it in total, which is fine if I guess you could have the same hard drive in one of the other small. I think it's interesting. Yeah, it looks okay again. And you can, they fix it with a CD-ROM drive. I don't know if it's a DVD or a standard CD-ROM drive or whatever. I could just use, I think, the ones that I have in the big one, with the converter, and use it outside. Of course, it's not as easy to have with you than a real portable thing and all that. But how many times am I actually moving things, right? So. Well, it looks good. There's two different kinds of these kinds of computers, it seems. Both of them has installed Windows 2000. I just don't know what the difference is. I have a Neo fan. Here we go with I don't know. This one is laying down, but open link in a new. Here we have a small. Whoops. A small one. Yeah, again, I would need to try things out. Mini computer PC 2100. Well, it's with Windows XP. Of course, I don't know if all of these are actually 12 volts, so I will need to figure out if every one of them is, every time I find something that isn't 12 volts, I can throw it out. Okay, what about this one? Runs Windows. It's 230 volts. So how would that? Here we have one. 19 volts. Nope. How would that? This one might be 12 volts. It's annoying German again. There seems to be a different. This is only 400 megahertz. That's not good enough. And of course, you have to take into consideration that even if you have many more megahertz than in a day, these are made for. So you might not get even if it sounds like, oh, it's so and so forward, you can't count it from megahertz to megahertz or megahertz to megahertz, because these are made to save power as well. This is 12 volts as far as Liefer Effort inklusive 12 volts Netzteil inklusive strømkabel input 100 and 230 volts out for USA, etc. and so forth. Yeah. Here we have the legal one, and but here we are absolutely closer to something where it doesn't convert the power, so this is nice. And again, we have, you have a hard drive, you have a PCI slot, where you could put some kind of graphic thing in it if you want, or needed some more, but of course it also uses energy, so that might actually get things up and using a lot more energy than you actually want, but at least probably going to make it use more power, I would think. So anyway, but this is one device. Again, looks interesting. I should never have left Windows 2000. It's interesting that there's one, there's many of the same. There's little difference, but yeah, DVD RV and was DVD-ROM. Okay, this one is sold with a DVD-ROM. Okay, it's even cheaper. But besides that, it's the same device. And the other one is sold with a, that's a DVD rewrite. Okay, so the other one is a DVD-ROM, and the other is a DVD rewrite. So I guess that's the difference. Doesn't really So here we have, okay, that's the legal and illegal. Let's see what this. It just shows a drive, but it doesn't really show what the drive is. Let's talks about the graphic card. DVI Video HDMI ist über einer adaptiv Adapter möglich PCI-slotfreier Stickplatz für die Erweiterungen PCM CIA Port German und 256 megabyte DDR-RAM. The question is, of course, how much can you actually put in it before it actually says, no, we don't want any more RAM. And of course, there can also be variations in regards to the RAM. Doesn't say, as far as I can see. I don't see what kind of oh, it's CD-ROM. Okay, so it's only a CD-ROM that is with this one. Okay, I don't need it, just a CD-ROM drive. But anyway, so here we have the mini. This is the other kind of version. Okay. Oh, it's so hard to navigate on this browser, and the browser is made like nonsense, and yeah, it's not good. Okay, here we go with some of the. Oops, now it closed. This is just terrible. How in the world did anyone think that recently closed tabs? Let's open it up again. You just need to push like a little and then move a little, and oops, there we go. The tab is gone. It's just bullshit. Well, it's a long time since I've used it. It's not that easy. I really should use this more, because you get some training in regards of sitting with a pen and getting some precision in regards of it. So I guess it's a good idea. I guess if you want to draw or something like that, you already have some skills in regards of being more precise, but it is not easy. I feel like I'm struggling somehow to. But of course, at some point it will become normal. Okay, it seems like the AVG virus is finished. Every time I run this, it takes a long time. Now I just need to get the clam win to work. I guess I might need to, apparently turn it up in the other windows and try to install. I did try to install the portable version of this other antivirus on the other one. Oh yeah, there was something I couldn't get on the internet on the other version. I think the virus had turned that off. But I did download the portable clam win, so I should be able to. It's nice that the motherboard also have like a turn off and a reset on this motherboard, so I can just do like this and turn things on. It's pretty nice. Good old days, I guess. You have all the numbers on the Asus motherboard, and you can see the different diodes on the RAM, the CPU, the boot up diode, and there's a graphic as far as I recall, and so forward. That's pretty, it's pretty nice. But it sucks a lot of power. What has happened to my... It's a little slow. Maybe it's a setting actually that I fixed, so it's slower than it should be in regards to the boot up. Let's boot it up in the other Windows 7 system and try to install this other system. Let's see, other antivirus, and let it run through. There we go. So many problems. I just want to be sure that everything is gone from this computer, that there's no detection of anything on the computer anymore, and then I'll need to reinstall it. I don't think there's any way of going around that. the virus has destroyed so many files that is encrypted now, so that's kind of a problem. So it won't work without really. I guess it could try to restore Windows to a former date and all that. That would, you know, that might work. I don't know in regards to files if it takes other files than Windows files and remove those as well. That might be the case. That would be a problem. Of course, I do have an old saved place. Anyway, having a virus scanner as well. Okay, blah 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 blah, and this should not find anything if I search. I think I've already searched it through. Okay, apparently this one is running now to find things. Oh, maybe we can start this one as well. I don't know how smart it is to have two running at the same time. And of course we need to sort out and find the portable application of the other antivirus program that should be on this drive, and it should probably be in the download section of this user. Let's see here, date on downloaded. No, don't seem to. Maybe I downloaded it to the desktop. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is not the portable version I downloaded. Maybe that was the reason why I didn't wanna. Of course, I thought it was the portable version I downloaded. Apparently, it was not. It was just the standard version installing on the. Okay. So. Yeah, of course it fails in regards of downloading the create failed project code. Operation did not successfully. Oh, interesting. Clam tray win 7. Okay, apparently it seems to find malware win 32 gen W in the clam win that I just installed. Okay. Interesting. So it seems to say that the antivirus program has virus in it. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, well, anyway. Oh my, this is terrible. Overall, I don't know if that's true, but you know, it's. I should get the portable version instead of the. So I don't get into issues on. Anyway, now Spy Hunter is running and Grid Soft is running, and at least Spy Hunter shouldn't find anything. I don't think it will. And Grid Soft shouldn't find anything either. I don't know if well, it found the thing in regards to the installation of the. I don't know what that was, but anyway. Let's get back to it, I guess, and it can run its course, I guess. Okay, let's see here. What's it doing here? It's just totally, oh my. I don't know, let's just, there we go. I have some 12 male plus female 2.1 times 5.5 DC power jack plug adapter. I only need 2 really. I only have 2 plugs of the male into female and And yeah, it's they're made so you can just put the wire into it and then just fix it in, and there you go. Okay. Oh my, all that checking for virus, you know. You do wonder what kind of people are doing things like these things, right? You know. Anyway, so anyway, we have the FX 170 and the 5600 series, which pretty much should be the same in hardware, although one of them does come with more storage and RAM from the beginning, so that might be a thing to think about. If we go on eBay and see if we can find one of these and just fix in oh, where did we go with it? Where was the information? I lost the tab. Oh. That's typical. I have a NVIDIA GeForce 8400 GS 512 megabytes, and again, that looks like it's much more likely to actually fit in the device. Now this is a PC. It's an new form of card, a plug, so that won't fit. You have a GeForce 6800 PCR graphic card, and it's without fan or anything like that. So again, I don't know how far the Windows 2000 drivers goes in regards of things, but you know, you could probably have a pretty good graphic card in it if yeah, I wouldn't need to look into that. There does seem to be some graphic cards that you might be able to put into the Windows 2000. It depends in regards of drivers. Again, when did NVIDIA stop? You know, what is the last graphic card they support? And of course, you might actually be able to use XP drivers to Windows 2000. So anyway, let's see here. So it doesn't seem to say anything in regards to the CD-ROM drive. Okay, well, let's just close that down. We only need one. So here we have another computer that should run on 12 volts, and it looks like it's the same. It's Neoware. This one is legal, but it just, you know, besides a little different design, it just seems to be the same. See behind of it. 12 volts, yeah, it looks the same from behind nearly. Yeah, you have this one, and you have, you have that, yep. It looks pretty much exactly the same. Only difference is the outside look of it. Inside we have a RAM, we also have RAM over there, yep. Got the same cooling thing, it's pretty much the same. We have a PCI slot, yeah, looks like the same, exactly. Oh, maybe there's a difference in the processor, maybe. Let's see some details on it. Well, the stats on it, 24 is probably the same as well. Oh, they don't show the stats on this, okay. Yeah. Two different companies, but that's 1000 megahertz processor. Let's see what if, yeah, 1000 megahertz as well in this one. So both of them are 1000 megahertz. So CLE2666 graphic card exactly the same on the other one. Dual head VGA and DVI video. dual head, you know, it's just the same. I don't see any difference between the two besides the outside look. And then of course the question is, which one? Well, there seems to be only one. Well, maybe it's down there actually. Oh, okay. I guess one of the lights are in regards of, but this one have what seems to be maybe lights at the, no, maybe that's a memory card reader down there. Maybe this actually has a memory card reader, I'm not entirely sure. There's something down there at least. It looks like it might be able to be a micro SD slot. And here so there's another thing here for something. It doesn't have that on the other one, does it? Nope. So there might, uh-oh. There might be something there. It looks maybe like a disk reading thing, the big one. But it doesn't seem to be that big, you know, but that's a good question. Of course, you know, you can't see from the inside that that's really, let's see here. No, that doesn't seem to actually, it just seems to be you know, you can see inside that there's this, you know, thing, but I don't know what it's for really. Maybe it's if there was maybe any diodes in it or something like that. Oh wait, is there a difference here? Oh yeah, we have a difference here. Okay, there's a difference in regards to the way the hard drive are placed in the system. One is placed one direction and other is placed in another direction, and that actually makes for a difference in regards to the PCI slot. Because the PCI slot, when you have the hard drive on this level, the hard drive actually goes into where the PCI slot is. That might be a difference in regards if you have a graphic card and it has cooling and all that. The cooling might actually go down and hit the hard drive, whereas the other one, it actually seems to be, again, it depends in regards to the length of the cooling. But there seems to be, in this version, there seems to be more room for things compared to the other one here. Yeah, so that's absolutely a difference. And this thing they have moved. There's still this thing where it's like, So as far as I can see, yeah, this they have fixed that on this. This seems to be better designed, this one. So if there's not really any difference in regards of hardware, at least there's difference in regards to how the hard drive in itself is placed. And yeah, it seems a lot better in this one. It's an EDI 44. What is it? Doesn't really say if it's an IDI. I guess it should be the same. Yeah, so I think the other one would be. It's you know, minor things, right? But clearly there has been made much more room in the other one. Besides that, so much of it is the same. The consistors, you know, the processor is at the same place. You have the same, but then you get into the right side of the computer and you see the hard drive is placed differently, and there's some differences. for sure, from one to the other. On the right side compared to the left side. They just made much more room for something, for, yeah. So if I found some of the graphic cards I found, let's see if we can find it. This one, for example, yeah, that has, well, it still goes backward. That's a problem. It still goes backward, so it would still probably hit into the hard drive. You would need to take something off some of the metal or something like that to maybe get it to fit. It's pretty big in regards of it's wide, but it goes backward. So if you put it in I think if you put it in either machine, it would be a problem. Yeah, it would go back. I don't think it would be. I don't think it would fit. Let's see here. It has the plug there. And we have the plug there, and then it goes further back, right? No. Well, something is wrong here. Let's see here. Oh. No. Wait, I can't. I'm just trying to figure out how would that work. Of course, it has to be. If you put that, you can't. There's something wrong here. Can't put that in. It's the opposite direction. How's that going to work? Maybe it's not a PCI or something like that, but I don't know. That just seems to be. It has the small one in the beginning, not the. Yeah, that's. Oh, maybe it's. I guess maybe it's another kind of PCI thing. Oh, it's a PCI EE 2.0, and that's not going to work. Apparently. I did find another one with cooling that looked pretty good. That also seemed to actually be able to fit without too much. But that would be an investigation if it doesn't use too much, voltage. And here we go with this seems to maybe not be. It says PCI, but I think sadly it's maybe this actually has one there and one there. The key is interestingly enough on both, behind and the front. So I'm not sure how that is going to work. Let's see a PCI. Well, it says PCI graphic card, GeForce 6200 256 megabyte PCI graphic card. Again, if one could find the last NVIDIA graphic card that Windows 2000 supported. I had the forum as well in regards of. I found a wonderful forum and I also made an account, but it doesn't seem to be in my mailbox in regards of yeah, well, all the Windows 2000 nerds seems to be on that forum. I don't know where, it's another browser that has now been corrupted with all the encryption and all that. Okay, maybe what is the last PCI graphic card support for Windows 2000? Not PCI EE. Just why couldn't they have called it something else? Highest res card for Windows 2000. It's a forum for the ultimate Windows 2000. Let's see here. GeForce 9800 GTX, but it's probably an APK. Best graphic card for older computers. We have a GeForce FX 5700. While the GeForce and Quarter release would support Windows 2003, blah 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 blah. Good GPU for Windows 2000. like PCI old, I don't know, PCI old. It just goes into PCI EE, you know, it's like, give me a break. Well, the GeForce and Quadro release 258 drivers, which supports the Quadro 4000, will install on Windows 2 or 2000. The drivers failed to load at, well, there's probably a lot of. Here we have the NVIDIA Win XP 2000. I guess you can actually see what they actually support, I guess. Is that the latest Windows 2000 driver? One wonders. Here we have a product support list. Pretty much a good amount of Windows or GeForce. We have the Quadro Force 900 XGL that they told about on the other one. I don't know what it was, and didn't follow along with all these things. Wow, there's a lot of heavy graphic cards that actually supported on the Windows 2000. It's incredible that the support still continued for the Windows 2000 when I got, so is that the latest form of Windows 2000 drivers, 9381? Let's search on all, all NVIDIA drivers. Yeah, let's try that. Product, I don't know, GeForce, whatever. And who knows? No, can we just have like a full collection of? There's nothing in regard to the Windows 2000. But at least this version supports Windows 2000, so it would be nice to just find the latest or the last NVIDIA driver for Windows 2000. Yeah, let's try that. Here we have another Windows 2000 XP driver. NVIDIA drivers for Windows 2000 XP. NVIDIA GTX drivers. That would be a question I could ask them in the forum. I can't remember what the forum was called, so. Best NVIDIA driver for Windows 2000. I'm currently running driver 9424. The last supported one for Windows 2000 for this card. Okay, for this card. Okay. So, yeah, lots of things. Okay, let's see what this is. So this is a NVIDIA Enforce Unified Driver 5.10. That's 2004. Regards to Enforce, there should be something newer than this. So I don't understand. Let's see. Hi everyone, I've gotten some great help from you all and was able to get my Win 2000 computer up and running with a repaired GeForce 6200. I was, what was the last graphic card I had in a Windows 2000? That was like, that must have been, that's a good question. Maybe I had a Voodoo 2 and a Matrox, I think. Matrox and Voodoo 2, I think, must have been the last bit I had in the Windows 2000 computer. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. Maybe it was the Matrox and Voodoo 2 I got for the new computer that I had. So maybe I'm not sure. So there might be have even been a worse. Hmm. Yeah, I told you told me about Windows XP and making some of those work on. Yeah. Well, I will have to ask on the forum and see if they have some knowledge on that. So we have some NVIDIA Windows 2000 drivers for 2000 XP. But you have to be careful when you're doing all these things because you might hit into virus. Here we have like GeForce 4, but then of course I just need to find out if there's any PCI of GeForce 4. You have some Quadro 4. I don't know what this version is, but it says 443 version. There should be some newer. There should be some newer versions. I guess it's a little hard to sit here and lay on the floor and. But you have GeForce 2, GeForce 3. No, yeah, GeForce 3. Oh, I had a GeForce 3, didn't I? Yeah, I had a GeForce 3 Ti 200. That was the one I won in Renegade. And when Renegade was around, I was already in Windows XP at that point. I'm pretty sure. I think I must have been on Windows XP at that point. Of course, it goes further back in regards to Windows 2000. Again, I can't even remember what graphic card it must have been a Voodoo 2 and Matrox. I just we upgraded at some point, right? And then I got I had another graphic card from Radeon or something like that. Oh, yeah. But the GeForce 3 was pretty good as far as I recall. I was pretty happy about that. But I can't really remember how, I had a GeForce 3 and I had what? I don't know. I had this other kind of card. I don't know if I just continued to with that. But I did have a GeForce 3 Ti 200, I'm pretty sure. That was the one that I won from the US in regards to Renegade for the first place second week. Although I'm not sure if I'm not sure of the last result because I stopped playing the last day or something like that because someone asked to give them over the first place because they wanted a graphic card and all that. But anyway, I don't know if the person didn't get up to the first place or what, but I did get the prize. The thing is, I found out that they were not sending prizes to Denmark, so I didn't want to. When I found out that they were not sending prizes to Denmark, I didn't want to win the third and fourth week. I was owning that game. I've never owned a game like that, I was a one-man army. I've, never in any game have I just made so much havoc. It was incredible. It was just, I was, one-man army. It was very interesting. It was fun, I guess. But of course, a lot of the things one already knew from Command and Conquer. It was like being in, Command and Conquer was one of my favorite games, and playing it at, when I was, and I think I played that on a Windows 2000 machine actually. I must have played that on Windows 2000. So, but playing Renegade was just coming back to the good old days, just in 3D. and I was like, that was amazing in some sense. I really, it was going back to childhood. It was going back to the good old days. In some sense. Anyway, I shouldn't. It doesn't matter. I just need a machine that I can program a little. Let's see here. We can GeForce. It looks like it goes up to GeForce 6.7 actually. 7800 GT, but of course it has to be old PCI, and of course it would be nice if it didn't use too much power as well. So NVIDIA drivers for Windows 2000/XP. I know the graphic card I have, this one, is doesn't have support for XP, because if it had, I would be running XP. Apparently it was the place where they cut off support for XP. Force 4 is still just way way faster than what you would normally run on, in regards to old games and all that. It would, the GeForce 4 would probably be, jumping all ahead, just the GeForce 3 Ti 200 was pretty heavy at that point in regards of when I got it, and so, that was a pretty big card at that point. Yeah. I guess the Ti 500 was, was better, but I don't know what was so much better with it. But in any case, but anyway, just the GeForce already there. GeForce 4 is probably even quicker, and so yeah. You might be totally overkilling it, if yeah. But anyway, there might be some support for 720p in the more modern graphic cards that might be able to handle that better than the older, and that of course is like really important in regards of. Well, here we have some different. It goes up to 2019 quarter release. These are I'm not sure what. Is this the graphic card, or is it like this? We have different versions of. Let's see here. Okay. Well, this is like 182 release thing from NVIDIA. Well, apparently that site is gone. Well, I guess the old pages are. Page not found. So. Anyway, that's something to look into as well. Again, I might not even go that direction in regards of this machine. It could be interesting to try out. It is 12 volts. Again, it's probably going to use much more power than the others, but it's still 12 volts, so it's still, it would be interesting to try out. And if it runs, and if it actually runs pretty good, to find a graphic card that actually could help to, and NVIDIA is usually supported on a lot of things. So yeah, someone says GeForce 2 MX is cheap and plentiful. Well, GeForce 2 was, a power card. I remember. I had Voodoo 2 when a friend got GeForce 2, when it was like, it was pretty heavy card. So, I don't want a Radeon card. I really would, if anything, a GeForce card. So, let's see here. I was looking around at review sites, and the one I have, GeForce FX 5700, was slated by people. I need a cheap card or something mid-range that could suit an old machine. The machine itself is from around 2002, and the card from 2004, I think. Any recommendation? And I was like, go to NVIDIA website. They have an online tool that will fit a recommended driver to your FX 5700 and 2000. That the latest isn't always the best. Okay. Um, but yeah, some of the graphic cards from after just seems to be pretty heavy. It should be able to actually run a lot more games than you would in regards of old games. Here we go with this. Oh, this is Beta Archive. I wonder if that's the place. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But let's see a beta. No, it's probably not the website that I was on. But looks a little like the website I was on. Anyway. So he's asking in regards of, from what I read, the fastest GPU for Windows 2000 would be a GeForce 9800 GTX Plus. I guess that must be in regards of where the dividing for XP also is in regards of GeForce 10. Of course, I remember that this card is just after, just the very spot that NVIDIA stopped to support XP with graphic cards. But with some hacking, run a newer GPU with Windows XP support may be possible. One issue is I'm not sure how well the GeForce 9000X600 GTX Plus works with PAE, as it probably was intended for client Windows 2000 XP Vista systems running. I don't know what I can't remember what the PAE is. Meaning? What does PAE stands for? I don't know. Anyway, I've seen it before, but those are probably intended for client, blah blah blah. Someone writes, the Windows 2000 Extended Core can eliminate the hardware limitations of professional and the lesser servers. I'm using Windows 2000 Pro on an HP Z600 workstation with 12GB DDR3 1333 and a Xeon X5670 12 threads. Wow. That's a heavy Windows 2000 computer. On an HP X, but that's, again, probably one of these big machines. And of course, I have another, actually doesn't look so. Let's see, this is the one. Well, it's not that expensive, but it's probably running, wow, probably running 230. It probably has some, but it's not expensive at that point in regards of, very interesting in regards of, oh, maybe this is the the power supply. That's a huge power supply if that's for what. Let's see. Oh yeah. This is for. Well, this is 620, not a 600. This is the 600. Okay, let's see here what the power supply is. 650 watts power supply. Doesn't sound like it's going to. Yeah, that sounds pretty big. Pretty big. Okay. Anyway, just looking around, I guess. I can close this one down because that was not the PCI. How about GeForce 6200? Is that PCI or PCI, whatever? That looks like maybe that it would be the old PCI. And you don't have any fans running, so that's nice. You have it's not exactly cheap, but it's fanless. and I guess it should probably be supported by the Windows 2000. It's not too big in regards of its, should be able to run most old games for sure. Or if you're not going to drop in a Windows a graphic card, you could always fix some more USB plugs. You can always use more USB, right? So you could maybe fix a USB card to fix into it if you didn't want the graphic card. Yeah, well, lots of choices, right? Always lots of choices, and you thinking about what to. Yeah, well, in regards of these two versions, I'll go with the other version. Just because the hard drive is there's less chance that you will have a problem in regards of the placement of the hard drive. It's still, it can still be in the yeah, we'll take the other one. If we're going to try one of them, I'll try the other version. There we go. With the hard drive in that direction. Yep. I wonder if you can actually. I'll have the PCI slot there at least, so that's. Yep, that will be the version we'll try if anything. Although I do like I do wonder in regards to the other one if it's a PCI slot that it has in the. Let's see, a bookmark history. Restore tabs. Just restore. Let's have a look. And it does look like that it could maybe have but it's. If you look at it, it doesn't really. You have the sliver there. If you look at the inside, it doesn't really look like there's anything. But you still have a little room here, so maybe it's hard to see if it's it looks like a card slot. It really looks like a card slot, but it's you can't see anything inside of it because there's like metal and all that at the point where you also have the USBs and all that. It could be but it could be. That would of course be something also to consider, because again, if you're not going to have any problems in regard to the space anyway, you might like to have a micro SD slot, right? An SD slot. All the choices, right? Okay, let's see here. What do we have more? We have this is the same as this one, right? Yep. This is 700 and this is 700. Okay. I don't really need the CD-ROM drive, so it doesn't really matter much. But they don't really show if these things on the is of any worth anything, if they are. Maybe I can find on YouTube, maybe. I don't know. There's no name. It's a neoware whatever. That doesn't really have the things. It would be the other one. It would be the legal what? Legal something. They didn't really put any data on what it's named. A mini computer, yeah. So I guess a mini computer is not the same as a slim computer, It has some details there, but I can't see what it says. Just a legal mini computer. Oh, I guess I can try to go on YouTube and search legal. See here. Legal mini computer. I don't know if I spelled that correctly. run Windows 98 on a Windows SD card versus HD and so forth. Okay, all that. Okay, it's a new video he's made. That's Phil's computer lab. Okay, let's see. Legal mini computer. Did I spell that wrong? Legal. I think I spelled that right. I just don't see. I didn't find any hits on it. So maybe it's not that popular in regards to this mini computer. Again, people would probably, if they don't have any power problems, they probably would look at other things, right? They wouldn't need the 12 volts, whatever. They could just do whatever. We have the legal mini computer. Someone has made something on Diablo mini PC old games and all that. Someone's selling. Maybe there's some more details on that. Maybe there's some in regards of if there's a SD card or something like that on the front on this version. Let's see. Why would they have these weird openings? Oh, there's a pop-up and I can see the pop. Oh, I hate all this pop-up nonsense that this internet has come to. Like, we don't have enough clicking to do already. They love having us do all this clicking nonsense. I always see, oh, that's a different. Yeah, that's two. That's kind of a different, even if it's, there you have the hard drive, you have 2 RAM blocks. I didn't really actually look at the other. Where is the RAM on the other 2 actually? Is that all to, do we still have the RAM over there? Oh, that's the difference. This one uses 1 piece of RAM compared to the other one that uses 2. And oh my, this is terrible. That's terrible in regard to how to. And that's also, so both of them uses only 1 RAM block, but this thing that he's having over here, which looks like the same thing, and you still have this weird thing at the bottom that looks like it could be an SD thing, but this also looks like to be something that I don't know what it's for, if it's not for something, I have no idea what the idea is. You have a printer port, you have the 232 port, you have the VGA video and HDMI, oh sorry, the DVI, and you have some, oh, what is that? Oh, we have a PCMCIA port as well, apparently this one. So there seems to be a little more on this one. You have a 12 volts plug, so that's still 12 volts. That's kind of important. You also seem to be able to add it maybe something. You have the PCI slot as well, and you have the hard drive in the wrong direction pretty much. So it goes further into where the PCI slot is, so that's something to take into consideration if you're going to put a graphic card in. Then you have a difference in regards to the cooling. Yeah, that looks so. And you have 2 RAM blocks instead of 1 small whatever. I'm not sure what the other one was, but here you actually have standard RAM, long RAM of some kind, which you might be able to put more RAM into it. I don't know. It has 256 megabyte RAM DDR. Okay. And I don't know how much you can put into it. And it's like, if it's DDR2, no, it's just standard DDR. Okay, it seems. That's a good question. But clearly there are some differences. Again, I have no idea how much this computer uses in regards to power consumption, but yeah. And here we go again, they turn it down in regards to a picture, and we have this open weird hole that looks like for a floppy disk or something like that, but still looks too little for a floppy disk. And yet if you look at inside of it, it doesn't seem to, it just seems to be, there's like this slice, doesn't make any sense. It seems there's room for a card underneath the hard drive, some kind of yeah, one of these biggie cards. Seems to be room for that, and then you have one IDE. Or maybe that's actually for yeah, they've also thrown in a PCR card on top of it. And again, there's not much room for you know, oh, wait, actually it's upside, okay. Oh, so maybe you actually do have more space than I thought, because then you have space upward, of course. But of course, as long as you don't get to the top of the, okay, so you have, how much do you have, like this or something like that, of space to the top, okay. Okay, maybe that's not too bad. And you can fix a bigger computer into it. But that's interesting. So there's different versions of these. Ideal for Windows 98. Yeah. Okay. Integrate grafik, but it doesn't say what it is, does it? Festplatten. Interesting that I didn't find this, or maybe I did. Maybe it's just a lot of those that looks the same, but it's maybe not the same. Because clearly we have some variations here. And this one actually looks yeah, you know, you can put 2 RAM blocks instead of 1. I don't know if there's a difference in regards of, yeah, maybe the other ones are faster RAM, I don't know. Still hard to know. Does it have any information on the RAM? Let's see here. Don't seem to see anything on RAM. Let's search on RAM. No? Uh-oh. Let's try again. RAM. Oh, here we go. Mit 40 GB IDE festplatte uden 256 MB DDR2 RAM. So this is actually DDR2 and the other one is probably DDR1. Gibt es mir als Arbeitsplatz für Windows und DOS Ubuntu or whatever. The question is, how much more can you actually put into it? If it's DDR2, you can get, you know, can you put 4 GB into it? You know, how much does it support? You know, 4 GB would be the maximum of Windows 2000 pretty much, or standard, you know, if you haven't done anything to Windows 2000. Yeah. So apparently I need to check the pictures of these. There's many versions of the, you know, it's the same picture, outwardly they look the same, right? Apparently inside they can be different, and of course if we don't have a picture of the inside, that's going to be a little hard because they are different. I'm gonna push another one here and see if there's a picture from the inside. Here is a picture from the inside. So that looks like the same as the, but yeah. But this one doesn't have a picture from the inside. Okay, let's take this one and put it in add it to cart or add it to watch list. I don't know, what, can I just store it? Is that added to cart or whatever? Something of that nature. Added to cart, as added to watch list. Isn't, I don't know what, what happens if I added it to cart? You don't have any items. Well, okay. Added it to watch list, I guess. Maybe that works. And this one, added it to watch, but that's... So, I guess DDR2 RAM just does make a difference as well, right, in speed in regards to the RAM. So this one, what is so good with this one compared to that? It's really only the difference is the RAM that was interesting. Now you have the PCMI slot. You do have a lot of things in it, but yeah, if it's only standard DDR RAM and you can actually get it with DDR2, you know, but you rather would get it with DDR2, right? That seems to be the better choice. Oh, now I do have. Oh, it's easier when you stand with it, right? Yeah, I don't know. But it is interesting that it has two modules of RAM, because again, that maybe you could put more into it, but I guess the DDR RAM probably is smaller than the DDR RAM 2 in regards of size, so besides being faster, of course, DDR RAM would be 2 would be faster than the DDR1. Okay, so let's close that down. We didn't really find, well, we have this...
You can buy these SD card to ID adapters and use SD cards as your hard drive for retro PCs, be it MS-DOS or Windows 98. We have looked at them in previous videos, but I bought a few faster SD cards, so we will check out the topic once again. Are SD cards usable and recommended for Windows 98? Looking at benchmark results and graphs, it doesn't really show you what's going on, so I came up with a new method. We are installing Windows 98. I've got a automated answer file, so everything installs automatically, and what this does is it reads and writes at the same time directly from the SD card, so it gets a good workout and it really shows wider differences than by looking at just some benchmark results. I basically captured the entire installation process and then I cut the beginning and the end. There's a manual part where I have to accept the license key and the terms and conditions, so I also cut that out, so we're getting frame accurate times between these storage devices. Our test system today is a Athlon 64. I've swapped out the processor with a faster model. It's the 3400 Plus running at 2 GHz. We also have 256 megabytes of DDR RAM, and I made sure that the DMA mode was enabled for all our storage tests. Let's have a look at the results for our IDE hard drives. We have two models, one from IBM, the Desk Star with a capacity of 16 gigabytes. But look at the results for our IDE hard drives.
Old Death Star.
Two models, one from IBM, the Desk Star.
Yeah, Death Star. Well, we called it the Death Star because they died and you lost all your information.
With a capacity of 16 gigabytes. And
yeah, that was the two I had. I had 260 gigabytes. The biggest version they had was a 75 gigabyte. That was the 15 plates, 50 gigabyte plates each, and that would be what, 15 divided by 75 gigabyte. I had the ones with 20 gigabyte per plate, so you had 20, 20, 20. You had 3 plates, and if I recall correctly. So, but anyway, they died. They began to click, 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 and then you should actually really do some backing up if it began to do that. I didn't. That was stupid.
And the other one is the Seagate Barracuda with 40 gigabytes. And looking at the results, the IBM Desk Star is quite slow. It takes 10 minutes and 38 to install.
Honest. I don't know if he doesn't know about it, but he should be aware.
Windows 98. In contrast, the Seagate Barracuda much faster. It benchmarks at 6 minutes and 53, and that is actually really fast. This just shows that a good mechanical hard drive can still keep up in terms of performance, but reliability is the issue. A lot of these old hard drives start to fail. It has happened to me, so I'm very interested in using flash-based storage instead. Let's check out our first SD card. It's Alexa with 16.
But yeah, the problem is, I had a, 10 years ago, something like that. You could get these, well, I guess it's here. I don't know if we can take, but I have one of these SSD, the first SSD, as far as I know, USB pin, because I was running portable applications. And when you run portable applications, you have to consider, I guess access time for smaller files or something like that. You have a difference. It doesn't just matter how much can you move and all that. It depends in regards of small files, read and write and all that. And there are some things that just, and this, you can also run, I've also run Crunchbang on it, Linux and all that, and it's really powerful. It's still very powerful, but it's only 64 gigabyte, which is still good in our days. It was pretty expensive, although I'm pretty sad that I didn't get a faster, sorry, not a faster, a bigger one. I did get a second generation 256 gigabyte, but it was just terrible, absolutely terrible. I don't know if it would be the same if you got the 256 gigabyte of the oldest version, but it's very. I have found one that sells one, but it's it's just if for that price you could get an SSD hard drive, which probably is a lot faster than. So that's not going to happen, but. But I have found one that sells one of these old ones, but he just wants way too much for it. Anyway,
gigabytes.
Because again, you can get these SSD things where you plug them in, so you can get the speed of an SSD, and you can get much more storage for the same price. So. And but they were good. They were lightweight and they worked, and it was wonderful.
Labels here. This represents a very basic model.
Yeah, 256 gigabytes is not that much nowadays either, right? So
one you can pick up at the post office or the supermarket, and the benchmark time represents that we're getting 11 minutes and 20, so that is quite slow. It's slower than our really old 16 gigabyte.
I'll just write to him. Oh yeah, but of course he has taken a thing where it installs and all that system. So it's a way.
Now these SD cards, on the other hand, performed much better. They are rated at V30. Now this is.
Yeah, he has the Extreme Pro. That's this. I think I have an Extreme Pro in my yeah, you know, and they are faster in regards of, but okay, yeah. Yeah, I did install a system on it, but Android wouldn't, you know, accept the memory card. You know, it would always tell that it was broken and all that. But yeah, I did get actually working. Where I had like 200 gigabytes for a Linux system, and then I had 800 for well, it's not of course real 800, and but anyway, but Android would complain and wanted to format the card, and you just have to make one mistake and then you lose all your information, right? So it didn't. So I swapped back to the to just one card having, you know. It would have been nice to have the whole system on it as well, but I didn't dare to do that. Maybe on a Linux phone you could maybe do that, but if you're on the Linux phone you can just plug in the computer pretty much to a screen and then you're all up and running, and of course they're working further in that direction, so that might not even be needed anymore in regards of a system on the, if you can just run it, you know, directly from your mobile pretty much. So.
Sequential reading. More important is the A1 or the A2 rating. That means these are rated for being suitable to install applications and to use them in smartphones and tablets. The A2 rated SD cards, they command a little premium, and it didn't make a difference in my testing. They require the host device to be aware of things like command queuing and other features, which of course our retro machine doesn't offer. So save your money, go for a SD card with an A1 rating, but let's have a look at the results. For the 32 gigabyte SD card, we're getting a time of 7 minutes and 57 seconds. The 64 gigabyte model was a little bit slower, clocked in at 8 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yes,
and
okay.
The fastest SD card is this one here from Silicon Power. This one only took 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Now, 32 and 64 gigabytes, I just formatted them directly with the Windows 98 boot disk. The 256 model is...
Yeah, I wonder if the clusters could maybe actually make a difference. But of course, if it's NTFS, it would probably just be 4 kilobyte. So, yeah.
It's a little bit too large, so I limited the capacity in the BIOS with the CHS values. I've done a video on that previously, and that allowed me to test large SD cards. And in general, the larger storage devices do perform a little bit better than smaller sizes, but for compatibility sake,
that's interesting, because in the past, right, in regards of the 64 gigabyte I have of the SSD, the bigger they were, the slower they were said to be. But again, I never tried one of the bigger ones of the first edition. I did try it of the second edition, and that was a miserable experience. That was just not workable. That was waste of money pretty much. And actually, this is the one, if I can find it. See, yeah, nearly unused, you know. I got this one and thought, oh, you know, I know these HyperX, they're good, right? You know, because I was really looking for this, you know, actually the first generation. Couldn't find the first generation, so I got a second generation. But what an absolute, yeah, don't get those. They're not good. So, absolutely failure. That's for sure. Again, I don't know if there's a difference between the first generation and the fourth generation, or the first generation and the second generation. The first generation in 256 gigabyte, which is the biggest one of them, might have been running better. I don't know. Or maybe it also was running worse. I don't know. But the 64 gigabyte, that was full speed, and it's still pretty good. It's still really good, you know. But it's only 64 gigabyte, but it's fast.
Sizes are what I'm after. They just make my life easier with old computers. But how does that compare to SSDs? We have two models. This is an older SanDisk with 32 gigabytes, and this is a very modern Western Digital Blue with 500 gigabytes, and we're using a adapter from SATA to IDE. These adapters are much faster than the SD card adapter. These top out at around 90 or so megabytes per second, whereas the SD card adapter has a limit of topping out at around 25 megabytes per second. So let's look at the times. The SanDisk 32 gigabyte SSD 6 minutes and 20 seconds, whereas the Western Digital Blue 5 minutes and 55 seconds. So these two lead the pack. They are the fastest devices when it comes to installing Windows 98. So we had a look at the benchmarks. Now, should you use SD cards for Windows 98? Well, there are two aspects to look at. The first one is performance, and we can see that if you pick up a fast SD card with an A1 or an A2 rating, then the performance is pretty decent. The write performance is definitely improved, and compared to the more basic SD cards, you will get a much better experience. Now, a fast mechanical hard drive can still be faster, but if you're replacing like a 10 or a 15 or maybe a 20 gigabyte ID hard drive, I would say that these fast SD cards can be comparable in terms of performance, and you also get better reliability, no noise, power draw, and all those aspects.
Oh yeah.
The other
That's actually a pretty important, thing that if you're using more, you're using less power maybe consumption actually. That's always nice when you don't have that much, right?
You can see that if you pick up a fast SD card with an A1 or an A2 rating, then the performance is pretty decent. The write performance is definitely improved, and compared to the more basic SD cards, you will get a much better experience. Now, a fast mechanical hard drive can still be faster, but if you're replacing like a 10 or a 15...
Yeah, let's see, a mechanical hard drive of 2.5 can use between, it's like 3 to 7, 8 watts or something like that, if I recall correctly, if you calculate it. So that's kind of a good amount. I think it was around that level, or maybe, and the micro SD cards might be using a lot less than that. So I can't remember, and I can't take them out at the moment, but yeah, I think it was like you have 5 volts and it's like 700 milliamp, right? And you need to calculate that. Let's see, yeah. Maybe I'm a little off the chart here in regards of maybe I'm off, maybe I'm a little too much up here. I think, let's see here. You have 5 volts times 0.7, right? Oh, that's only 3.5 watts, sorry. So 3.5 watts, that I think that was actually the biggest one of use. So maybe I'm not, maybe I was a little up over the top in regards of, I think 700 milliamps was, you had one with 350. Yeah, okay, I'm a little too off. Okay, so that will be 1.75 watts to 3.5 watts of use for a hard drive. And in regards to a micro SD card, I don't know how much that uses, but I guess it doesn't have all the parts, so, and it's smaller, and I don't know.
15 or maybe a 20 gigabyte ID hard drive, I would say that these fast SD cards can be comparable in terms of performance, and you also get better reliability, no noise, power draw, and all those.
Power draw, yeah. Yeah, that's that's probably correct, that the power would probably be less by using a micro SD, yeah.
Aspects. The other aspect is the topic of reliability, especially over time, and if you're doing a lot of writing. And you might think SD cards and SSDs are very similar, they're all flash based, but look at the size. These SD cards are tiny, there's not much space for...
Well, one of the differences is pretty much also that the SSD usually is a lot quicker in regards of small files, and But yeah, you have these small new modern thing, and they have these standards that he's talking about in regards of small files, so they can be used for gaming and all that. You see the gaming things that they, so loading speed and all that. They have had a lot of focus on the micro SDs being quick and all that. So you, you should have less issues than beforehand if you get one of these ultra cards. And ultra, they call them, was ultra extreme, I think is the top card of SanDisk. And there's a difference between the ultra and the ultra extreme, and I would go with the ultra extreme for sure. There's absolutely a difference, and it's always nice to have
a smart controller with a lot of wear leveling algorithms and so on. So these are very simple, and they're basically best effort when it comes to writing that don't have any complicated algorithms that make sure that cells are not written too much, which you have with SSDs. And you could also see that with the ID to SATA adapter, we are not limited.
And in regards of all these writings and all that, I haven't, I have one of my first SSDs. I got the first SSD I had and it broke. And I got another SSD, and it's, so it has been running for hours and hours and hours, and it's still going, And I really don't think it's a big problem in regards of this rewriting and all that. It doesn't really seem to be but still apparently in good condition, both of them, both of the SSDs I have. So I don't know. At least for daily use, it doesn't seem to be a biggie. In regards of breaking, the first SSD I had that broke didn't seem to be in regards to the read-write or anything like that. It was something else in regards of breaking.
By 25 megabytes per second, we're getting around 90, and therefore much better performance. So my recommendation really depends on what you're actually doing with your retro PC. If you're mostly reading from the SD cards, then I can definitely recommend them. Scenario would be you using Windows 98 mostly because of FAT32 to have a huge partition for your MS-DOS games. In that case, SD cards can work really well. In DOS, there's no page file. The only times you're writing is maybe installing the games and when you are writing for saving your games, save games. Yeah. Another scenario could be using Windows 98 for networking and easier folder management, but mostly also as a DOS machine. In that case, can also work really well. The scenario where you're using it as a pure Windows 98 machine with a lot of games installed, that's where my recommendation is more towards the SSD. There are some options where you're using it as a pure Windows 98 machine with a lot of games installed. That's where my recommendation is more towards the SSD. There are some options you can play around with in regards to the page file. You can try disabling it, but Windows becomes very unstable. If you do that, you can try using a RAM disk and use that as your page file. So there are some workarounds, but be aware that for heavy-duty Windows 98 with a lot of reading and writing, you're probably better off with a SSD. So yeah, that's my recommendation. It does depend a little bit on your use case. It can work well with Windows 98, especially in a situation where you do a lot of DOS gaming and you use Windows 98 mostly for the networking and folder management because it's easier. You can run a nice FTP client. That's what I do to copy files across, and Windows 98 makes that very convenient. What I do like about the SD cards is the ability to get them in really small sizes, 8 gigabytes, 60 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, so they are compatible with old BIOSes where the hard drive detection might work if you put in a 128 gigabyte SD card, but then trying to format it in MS-DOS, you get errors or Windows gets corrupted. So that's what I really like with these SD cards. You can get them in nice small sizes that are compatible with retro PCs. But for a high-end Windows PC where you want more capacity, more performance and better long-term reliability, SSDs are the way to go. And I have something planned in the future where I want to look at mSATA SSDs and also M.2 SSDs and how we can use them with Windows 98. And yeah, we will look at benchmarks, how they compare with what we have here. And there you have it, guys. Let me know, what do you think about using SD cards in your retro PC? And what storage solution do you use? What do you recommend? What are your experiences? What works, what doesn't work? Always found it interesting. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I shall see you soon with another one.
Yeah, I guess I... One 1.75 to 3.5 watts on 2.5 drives. That's 2.5 drives. See on my units. Yeah. Regards of SSD and all that. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Oh, one of those slim things that had, there's so many factors on this, and you just want something to yeah. Well, we'll see if we can fix something, right? Something. Huh. Something. Fast and secure remote support. That's in regards to NVIDIA drivers. Again, I don't even know if it's it's only if I try to get that other machine there running 12 volts. Again, I think it might still be sucking a good amount of power, and compared to the Slim, will still be a lot less than this one for sure. I'm pretty sure of that. And then also focus on the hard drive not being too power hungry, and the graphic card, if one would put a graphic card in, I would need to look into the PCI cards and find something that might not use so much power either. Yeah, he says a GeForce 8400 GS would still have Windows 2000 drive support. But again, I would like a graphic card without a fan, power of, fanless, and PCI, and not using too much power. So I believe this was one of the last versions that was backward compatible with 2000 before they dropped support. Yeah, that's probably correct. 2007 Windows 169.21. Oh yeah, that would be something to try things and all that. But that goes up to GeForce 8. That might still work on Windows 2000. They this is still, some heavy graphic cards compared to what the old games were doing. So that would be pretty. But still, it might help to run 720p videos. There might be some technology to better run MP4 and all that. I don't know. They sometimes have some of these things to help the system overall play media files. That gives me, he has tried these things, that give me some confidence in these drivers, so I'll go ahead and look for GeForce 8400 GS and hope it boosts my computer enough to run 720p videos. Yeah, that's the thing. That's exactly the thing that would be interesting. It is not in regards of games, but just being able to run 720p applications. So let's say save this file. Yep. Apparently can't see the. Oh, come on. Okay, save. Great. Let's just save that. Let's go back to the. Thanks for the help, Ultimate, Bob, and everyone else also. Okay. I finally got a GeForce 8400 GS PCI 512 megabyte running on my Windows 2000 computer, but I'm not having any luck playing at 720p MKV video. The images are jerky and not much fun to watch. I wonder if there are any tweaks that can be made to improve this. Yeah, that's bad. Oh my. HD 5450 or HD 5450. What is he talking about in regards? Is that some of the computer versions? That's a AMD Radeon HD 6450. Okay, so it's talking about Radeon graphic cards, I guess. They might have supported it a little further or something. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it says, I'm not sure that Windows 2000 drivers players even support that, but try MPCHC or VLC. I guess the MP must be the other program that is also in a portable, and that might have been also the problem if he was using the wrong software for things. And this is the MPCHC. I think that's the one that, where he stops production or stopped the latest and probably the last release of our project. So that's 5 years ago, but still supports a lot of video. So. I'm not sure, blah blah blah. I was able to run 1080p on MPC-HC using a PCI 33 MHz 8400 GS just fine using DXVA on XPSP3. Without it, no way, because of the low bandwidth from PCI 32-bit, I guess. So without it, no way, because of the low bandwidth. If you want to play videos but not pay for a new Windows, try the Linux XBMC. I've heard it works well with the 8400 GS PCI and GPU acceleration. Someone says, oh, is there really anyone using Windows 2000 still? Yeah. What are you playing them back with? If support is in Windows 2000 for offloading MPK2 and H264 to the GPU, it should be fine with VLC or MPCHC with newish codec filters like L8V updated. If the show with support plane isn't there for that feature in 2000, though, you are not going to get smooth playback. I'm using an older version of VLC. I'm trying to play an MKV file, VLC media information source as this, and blah 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 blah. VLC plays it but jerkily. CPU runs at 95 to 98%. Interesting. I wonder what CPU he has. VLC 2.05 freezes on the first frame, also keeps the CPU in the high 90s. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, maybe we have some problems in that level. Whether we maybe actually the slim devices are actually maybe better because they have the integrated graphic cards, and I know that some of these slim models are made or have, saying that it can run MP4. So I would, I would need to test. I don't know why, some of these videos on YouTube, they play games, right? But they tend to forget to play some video, and show if how it handles different video resolutions and all that. Um, 2 GHz, one will have the UEMF to handle decoding in software if the hardware is not present or if the API's LEBs aren't there in Windows 2000. So maybe it doesn't really matter in regards to the graphic card if I'm going to try to run in, at least 720p. You needed to pick up an ATP video card, not a PCI version. Yeah, well, if you don't have anything else, then. But yeah, the PCI is so slow, is so slow that no matter how fast the card is, you still get stuttering just from the bus bottleneck. Okay, you get the bottleneck. Okay, yeah, okay. Also, one thing nobody asked yet is, what are your computer specs? CPU, RAM. Yeah, I was thinking the same. My Dell's 400SC computer has a P42.4 GHz, 3 GB RAM. So again, the CPU sounds like it's pretty big. So, but I guess. In regards of the video and all the decoding and all that might be a problem if the hardware doesn't help. Oh, and forget using PCI-based graphic cards for doing anything more than putting as picture on screen. PCI only has purely theoretical. Real world is much lower. 133 megabyte per second available. What's more, that has to be shared between all connected devices on the bus. Okay. I don't know if the bus is divided in regards of, because there's only one PCI thing on the on the machine. So if maybe it doesn't have any division, so that might, I don't know. Yeah, of course, the PCI versus the AKP. Of course, when you had graphic cards, you would use the ATP port. I'm not sure how much faster it was, but it was absolutely. You had one AGP port, and you used the PCI ports for everything else. And apparently, he tried to use an AGP, and it, that he says that's the difference. So, and that's the black winged cat. That's the guy that was on the other forum. So that seems to be like Windows 2000 forum. Let's see if I can find it's like a PC Windows forum WinWorld PC. Maybe that was the place. How hard can it be to find it, right? I know I found it once. I should be able to find it again. Maybe they'll try to hide it away from people. This other forum, I don't know, when I made an account I should have an email in my email box, but I just don't seem to. Maybe Google search machine is trying to. Maybe I should try DuckDuckGo, because Google is a bullshit searching machine. But you know, usually they, browsers end up using Google, because you know that Firefox are so interested in protecting your privacy, so they send you to Google, right? Yeah, we are so, but we're getting millions, and yeah, I can't remember the number. It was huge number from Microsoft. Oh, sorry, from Google. And they banned me when I was. They've sold themselves to the devil. Oh, here we have a Windows 2000 Professional SP4 Blackwind Cat Edition. Oh, that might be pretty good, because that might have all the things, so you don't need to install all these things and new versions and all that. That might actually be that might be actually very helpful. So you don't need to first install the original and then get through all the different things. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. There's no preview, blah blah. When it's been released 2020. So that probably should be pretty updated. It's not that old. 2 years? Whatever. So, but anyway, maybe I should forget in regard to the PCI. Maybe it's not so good in regards to video actually using for the PCI anyway. So maybe it would be better to use the PCI port for some more USB or whatever. I don't know. Or sound card if you would like that, but I guess it doesn't really. Yeah. Okay. This is just, it's not working good. Okay, let's see here what we have. We have the split cable. That's something to look into as well. Oh, it's something. It's like going up. Sometimes it just goes up. I don't know. It just does things that I didn't tell it to do. Sometimes you had like these things where you. But why is it moving down when I? Yeah. What is this? So again, 1 gigahertz, Windows 2000. Yeah, I don't know. In regards of 720p video might be a problem, and that would be kind of a nice thing if it could play 720p video. That is, I guess, the big test, and I'm pretty sure that some of these things are red should be able to do that with the integrated video card, where the integrated video card is made to be able to do that. So they might suck on other levels and yet work in regards of video. So again, the gaming aspect is less of a concern. So I guess there's only one way to figure things out, is to test things, and yeah. Yeah, I guess still this version, I don't know in regards of the SD, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Here we have this again. So one version has the hard drive in the right direction, but I can see maybe it doesn't matter if it's really if the PCI whatever is going to go upward instead of downward, then it guess it doesn't really matter that the hard drive is turned in that direction. It's really, but the question is there anything underneath this hard drive? Because they don't show anything. Because apparently some of the versions have some kind of extra memory thing. So, but yeah, it's kind of hard to see. So we have another one of these units. So I guess what could you put in a PCI port if not graphic? And of course, then again, how is the graphic on these devices? If they're not good enough to run 720p, it's kind of, you know, maybe none of them can. Maybe it ends up that none can run what I want in regards of 720p. I guess it's just pretty, you know, it's a more modern thing in regards of running 720p. LIGO. I would go with and it again looks like there's something in regards. It looks like an SD card, and then again all these. Maybe it's just to make it look like it can do more than it actually can. You know, I don't know. Small PC mini computer for Windows 2000, newer, 20 watts, and it's still a lot. Let's see if it does 12 volts. Well, it shows it's not 250 or 230 at least. And inside wow, that's interesting how they, wow, they're just taking a plug and just, you know, run it around. I've never seen that before in regards of a hard drive plug. Interesting. You have 2 sodium RAM thing and all that, but yeah, it's one of these that it's a mini computer. It's not a slim computer, it's a mini computer. Let's see here, what about it's 1 gigahertz again, 2 gigabyte, integrated graphics, some way up. Yeah, but what is the voltage? Oh yeah, the voltage doesn't say any place. Or yeah, we go with the transformer, but and it says 1,000 megahertz. Yeah. Yeah, we can see the but again, how much voltage does it run on? Let's see here, find volt. Nope. So again, we can't really see how many volts it's using. Again, it's not running on 20 watts in total. That also seems to be a good amount. I guess the other I've been looking at is probably also up there in regards of using too much. Here we have with a hard drive here. That's a Wise. Let's see, what does that have? This has a block down here. 19 volts. Out with that. I have a 17 screen with Windows 2000, 1 gigahertz, 12 volts. But the problem is you need to put it on something, right? It's kind of you need to put it up, yeah, some place, right? Kind of. And the question is, you know, you can probably get a screen in nowadays that is better and less power consuming, so that's kind of a you have the old plugs there and all that, and then you have the motherboard with, interestingly enough, a PCI port on the back of the screen. Via chipset VT8601A Apollo, whatever. Yeah, maybe it's impossible to find a Windows 2000 that can run 720p. Let's try to actually take this graphic card here, right? Via whatever, that must be the graphic card as well, right? Graphic graphics 720p. Let's see if it says anything in regards of. Someone is making food. It smells like. Well, I guess it's a good. Okay. ID disk on. Okay. Mini PC for Windows 98 old DOS 400 megahertz. No thanks. That's way too. Windows 2000 NOAX. That seems to be also something that I should just jump off. That's a weird box. Yeah, let's just take that off as well. Here we have one of these. Again, how much juice it's using is a good question. Probably around 20 watts as well. And of course, that depends also when, if you put the hard drive in, you can, that will of course be difference in regards of the power consumption. But yeah, probably a lot more than the slim units. We have a mini PC apparently. Is that like a speaker in the front of the... No, it's a fan. Okay. Yeah. Probably not the thing, but it's interesting, a little computer with a big fan. Yeah, probably not being able to run Windows 2000. Here we go again with the legal thing and all that. Here we have another that that's a 1500 megahertz actually. I think I've seen that before, yeah. But it has cooling inside of it. It has moving parts in it. Also have a huge hard drive. Of course, you could fix something smaller and just fix it as a, I think. With an adapter or something like that, probably should be able to. There's two fans down there and one fan in the, so at least 3 fans are in this. But 1500 megahertz. Well, it's at least a little more speed. But after reading the information in regards to 720p, I'm kind of little less. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. I might get into some problems with my website, because I'm running 720p on my videos as maximum, and if the system can't handle it, that's, well, I guess I can still use my mobile to test the, and then still program on the other one. That's a possibility. Oh, here we have a PCR card. That's a audio that they've thrown in, although it already have audio in it. So it has both in the front and the back, so it's just totally overkill on the audio thing here. What is the graphic here? Let's see here. Video via Pro Graphics on board. Okay, let's try to copy that, right, and say run 720p. Let's see here. Yeah, comparing Intel HT graphic with VIA S3G Unichrome. Just in regards to 720p. Things to do in XP. Maybe I should try to write this guy that knows a lot of these slim clients and ask him if he knows of any of them that can do 720p of these slim clients. Because it would be the eternal graphic that really would be the biggie on that part. And of course it needs to be supported in regards to drivers, right? So, oh my. Might not be that easy. You have a Pentium 2.8 gigahertz Windows XP, but yeah, yeah, that's 230 volts. Not going to happen. This one apparently is a broken link. No, that is. That's the FX 160 running Windows 2000. Yeah, but and it's having a 1600 megahertz. So it's still pretty nice, but in regards of gaming, it seemed to be very bad. I was jumping off that again, but in regards to the graphic and all that, it didn't look good. In regards to it has a Mirage tree graphic, and comparing it with some of the others, it as far as I recall, it was failing, comparing to others. But it supports DirectX 9.0. But if I recall, I compared it with let's see, Run P7 HD. Let's see. Doesn't really say if it can run. Yeah. Can it run P720 HD? Probably not. Yeah, I'm probably setting my, yeah, that's probably not, yeah, I don't know how many of these. Well, this is a 400 megahertz, that's not going to work at least. And this one is the same as, I might not have much, looking at these things, I might not have much, the one that I've ordered, if I can get it to run Windows 2000, that at least should have a chance to run it. But we have another FX 160, 1600 megahertz, 2 gigabyte of RAM, but it didn't look good in regards to running graphic and all that compared to the other one that I found. So, and I also have 230 volts, so that's not going to go. Yeah, that was the reason. Yeah, that was big reasons not to get that. So let's just forget that again. Okay, I might not be able to run 720p. I guess I will have to need to look into the graphics of the different units and figure out which one might be the, yeah. Well, the Windows 7 machine I'm going to get, I think, can do 720p at least. I'm pretty sure that's worked for. It's new enough. So, okay, we have some Dell-wise. Nuki, I think I looked into that. That was something. Okay, it's hard to if you can't remember all the things, right? So 720p is another thing. So 12 volts, right? Has to be 12 volts. Low consumption. Oh, I can't remember all the 12 volts, low consumption. Let's see, I have text editor here. Yeah, okay, let's open another window here. Okay, 12 volts. Interesting. It's actually seem to have the documents from the last. Okay, 12 volts. Yeah, that's the first one, right? Low consumption. Have to be able to play 720p. Okay. So 12 volts, low consumption, have to be able to play 720p. What else? I had more. Oh yeah, Windows 2000, of course. Have to be able to run Windows 2000 support, you know, that it can run, right? Have to be able to play 720p. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. I did write on Facebook in regards of one of the groups that was on. It's probably this one maybe. I still had pending. Let's see manage content. Let's see the content. Yeah, okay. Let's copy that into my text here so I can remember. If I can find the other forum or the guy that is really into okay, 12 volt power supply. Well, power supply, I don't know. Power. Yeah, low consumption, low power consumption. Windows 2000 Pro support. Yeah, I guess in regards of fast enough for daily use, probably. You know, in regards if it can run 720p, it should be. So I guess that's okay. I think we have it. Oh my brain. I'll be right back. We got it narrowing it down. You know, pretty much I narrowed the data down on things what it needs to be able to do, right? So at least so far so good. But yeah, the 720 video thing, you know, that's just I don't know in regards to the Windows 2000 if there's a problem in regards of, you know, if the drivers can, if Windows 2000 is lagging something that makes it impossible to, who knows. I have the first one, the second one, the third one, Massachusetts Compact. Okay, we have the first, that's the CXO. It could be interesting to just search on these if they can do, like, you know, let's see, wise, you know, and then, you know, ask if it can do, what's it called, P72 video. I don't know. Because one thing is in regards of games that it might not be so good at games, but they should still be able to do something in regards of video, because people, you know, would use video, right, when they would sit at these slim things. So you would expect them to actually have made some of these slim clients to be able to run video, modern video. So yeah, that's a concern I guess I have. That's a big concern. Okay. Won't be that easy to figure out. You know, if the unit I get just support all the things, that would be just wonderful. I don't need to look further into these things. I really hope they haven't blocked the unit from running Windows 2000, but might be the case. Here we have the video again.
I don't think clients have those. It's handy for, especially if you want to do older DOS games and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what this is in line with. The closest computer that I had was an older. Once that's done, and there was a lot less to do there than on 98, I'm going to go back to Windows 98 and run some benchmarks using Passmark 6.
Well, it's doing surprisingly well in Quake 3. So this machine, the V90 LE can run Quake 3, which is, you know, I guess Quake 2 is still before the age of 720p, but you know, it's in the right direction, right? If it can run that, you know, it's should be, yeah. Let's see if I can maybe ask them here. Okay, can it? I probably should actually write MP. In regards to my file, it has to be like MP. Yeah, well, I did write MP4 file. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Any suggestion? Kinda, apparently. You know of any? Or maybe this, or okay. Slim devices should be able to do video, right? So the internal graphic cards should be made for that. Okay, let's try to put that and see if anyone responds. We also have the React OS. It also will be interesting to follow along, although it's still alpha and it's been an alpha version for a long time. But it does look pretty good, and if they continue to, you know, improve on it, that, well, we'll see. I guess it's still pretty unstable. Let's try to copy that. Okay, that's Phil Computers Lab. He's also into it. So there's a couple of guys here that are really into. But yeah, it is. I think it's pretty nice that this little slim device can actually run Quake 3. Yeah, of course I understand it's a pretty old game now in our days, but still, it's still a good amount of graphic to 3D graphic and all that. So I'm not sure which resolution he's running this in, but it seems to be running okay. So when I don't know, when I was in school, that's many years ago. I guess many years ago. Wow. So anyway, let's close that down. And we have this other machine in regard to the 5600 series versus Dell FX 100, and that was 3 different kinds of where they're the same, right? And yeah. You had more storage on and more RAM on one version than the other and all that. Yeah. But practically the same. But can it run, let's see, an FX running video. So again, even if it's made to actually be able to run 720p video, it might, you might need to have the right thing installed for it actually to work. I can ask them on this YouTube video. Let's see here. See here. Oh, does it? Oh, again, these slim computers should be, should have some graphic that could do that. Could run video. Yeah, I don't know. So we have this one. We have. Oh, give me a break with this nonsense. Advertising. Oh, and then another advertising, right? How much wasted? Like half a minute? Like, it's bullshit. Sick and tired of it. I really need to fix an adware thing and all that. But here we have it.
Also want to get out of this machine was to really get math.
Are you kidding me? It just started and they just fix. You gotta be kidding me. That was just 2 advertisings, right? And just coming up with another one. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Model of DDR400, and up here we have a standard 44-pin RD interface, which lets you use various adapters and converters. So you can use SD cards, M-SATA SSDs, M.2 SSDs, but you can also just plug in a normal 2.5-inch mechanical hard drive. And down here we've got a piece of SD cards, M-SATA SSDs, M.2 SSDs, but you can also just plug in a normal 2.5-inch mechanical hard drive. And down here we've got a PCI slot, and that gigabyte model of DDR400. And up here we have a standard 44-pin RD interface, which lets you use various adapters and converters. So you can use SD cards, M-SATA SSDs, M.2 SSDs, but you can also just plug in a normal 2.5-inch mechanical hard drive. And down here we've got a PCI slot, and that opens a lot of options. If you're looking for building a Windows 98 or Windows XP retro gaming PC, you can install a fast 3D graphics card like a River TNT2 for example, or a GeForce 6200, which I actually will be doing in this video. And if you're looking to build a DOS machine, you can install a DOS compatible PCI sound card, which is also something we will look at the device. USB aims the sound as well as sound. Now I did run a few benchmarks, however, so in DOS gaming we're gonna Quake friends in Quake. If I play Quake in DOS at 640 by 480, then this machine will do that. When playing DOS games, there are quite a few games that are speed sensitive and will have issues on fast processors. And there are two things you can do in this machine. The first one is using the setmul utility. You can disable the internal CPU cache. And the other tool we have at our disposal is from Falcosoft. He wrote a tool to change the multiplier, and that works even under DOS, so you can lower the processor.
I guess actually the Voodoo was running on a PCI, I guess. Uh-oh. Well, I guess the video is over.